Welcome back to Caratootie, where we create beauty from our hearts. I'm Ingrid Carlson, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you are brand new and you like what you see, I would love for you to become a subscriber. So hit the bell too, so you get notified anytime a new video comes out like this one. Today we are making hand-painted paper beads, and make sure that you stay until the very end where I show you a project. I've already done a full tutorial on handmade paper beads, and I will have it linked in the description down below. But these little treasures aren't only beautiful, but they're also a reflection of the joy and the peace that comes when we slow down and that we create with intention. We're not making things to hurry up and build our stash, but we are making things because we love creating with our hands, and the end result, we can look back and just feel the joy of how it felt to create and then to use those products. Our list of materials today is going to be some acrylic paint brushes, also something to wrap your paper around, so either a paintbrush, or I'm going to show you also using a paper straw. I'm also going to use some parchment paper on the bottom to act as my tray for my paints. You're going to need a little glue, some cardstock, and then some kind of cutter. Oh, and also a little bit of washi that we're going to use to hold our beads in place. The biggest difference between these beads and the ones that I made in the previous video is today I'm making some straight beads, and so that means that I'm cutting my paper the same width at the top as the bottom, and I am absolutely in love with this style. It also gives us a great background to create our artwork on. There's a sacredness in working with our hands and making something out of nothing, or in this case, just some simple cardstock. And these beads are such a beautiful representation of that transformation of turning something so simple into something so stunning. Remember to play around with different paper sizes. The paper strips don't have to be perfect at all, and actually, I think that they're even prettier when they're not perfect. I think that the more irregular they are, the more unique and beautiful your beads are, and the more handmade they look. And do you know how much real handmade, hand-painted beads run for? They're very expensive, and now we're making our own. And what's even better is that you are the artist. So join me as we ditch that perfectionism and we enjoy the process together. I think that every piece of paper has a story to tell, and by creating beads out of paper, we're just adding our own little chapter to it. As you roll the beads, just go into a quiet meditation, watching it spiral, knowing that that simple little motion is going to create something so intricate. Don't rush through this. Let your hands work at their pace and find joy in the motion. So these are the beads that I have so far, and you can see the more angled, the more kind of texture you're going to get. This one I did opposite. I did the small on the inside and the big on the outside. I've never done that before. I feel like it's not great because the integrity on the edges is going to be not as strong, but for what you're using them for, it's okay. And then I think my favorite are the square beads, and you saw there that one of them is thicker than the other, and that is because I used the straw on one end. So if you are looking for a larger middle, then using a paper straw or something that is bigger in diameter, as you can see here, then that's going to be your solution. So I'm going to keep going, but I think I'm going to make more of the regular square ones. Also on these, we can cut the excess when we're done, once they are dry. In my last video, I had several lovely people let me know that I could use some foam in order to paint my beads a little easier. On the last one, I was just doing it by hand, and this is such a better method. What I'm doing here is I'm just adding the beads depending on where I rolled them. So the bigger ones are going to be on the straw and the smaller ones will go on the paint brushes. And then I'm using a little bit of washi tape at the end to just hold the beads in place so they don't fall down. I'm going to show you two different types of paint. Here I'm using a Dollar Tree white acrylic paint. And remember that acrylic paint, once it dries, it's going to give you a sheen on the finish. And then I'm also going to show you gesso, which is flat and usually more opaque. Don't get caught up in trying to hurry through this process and add the paint and dry the paint and then start painting. Instead, enjoy every little stroke as you gently apply the paint. And as you paint, notice how the paint blends into itself. At first, you start seeing streaks, and then as it settles, it just melds and gives you a beautiful coverage. I picked out 3 colors that I wanted to use: a yellow, a kind of salmony pink, and a lovely blue. I find that all 3 of these can act like neutrals in my projects. I think that these colors kind of go with pretty much all of my kits, and I think that they go with a lot of the things that I love and the pieces that I would use. When you're picking out your colors, think about that for a moment. What are the colors that spark joy in your heart when you look at them? Is it pink? Is it green? Is it blue? Pick those colors. Feel free to go as intricate or as simple as you want. Here I'm going to show you kind of more simple designs. We're going to get a little intricate on a couple of the beads, but for the most part we're going to stay pretty simple. So I think that we can do this together. On my first bead, I'm just going to add some stripes, and I think stripes are just happy. They go with everything. They are great with florals, they're great with other patterns, and I think this is a great option to have on hand. And remember, there's no wrong way to paint these beads. They're your beads, they're your creations, they're what makes you happy. So feel free to do the same that I'm doing, or to go off in your own and add whatever designs you want. Maybe you love polka dots, so add some beautiful happy dots. This project is the base. What you do with it is what makes it your own. So have fun, experiment, and just enjoy the process of creating. And believe me, I know that it's easy to get caught up in trying to make every bead perfect. But honestly, and I promise you, the beauty, it's in the imperfections. It's in the smudged lines. It's in the errors, because I'm going to tell you that I messed up on pretty much every single one of them. There's an error somewhere. And at the end, I don't see the errors. I see the beauty. And actually, on some of them where the lines are more bumpy, it actually is so endearing and looks more like a handmade piece, which is exactly what I wanted. You know what's something that makes me happy? That's flowers. I absolutely love flowers. I admittedly have a brown thumb. Is that a thing? I don't know if I just said something bad or not. But I don't do well with living plants at my house, but I love enjoying the beauty of beautiful flowers, especially wildflowers or flowers that maybe my husband planted outside. There's just so much joy in knowing that God created this beauty for us to enjoy. I just love them. And so I wanted to add some little dainty vines to this bead, and I couldn't be happier with it. have to admit that when I started this project, what I envisioned is blue and white. If you're new here, then this might be the first time that I'm sharing this with you. And if you've been with me for a while, then you probably already know that I love all things blue and white. I have a lot of blue and white accents around my house, plates and pottery, and I just absolutely adore it. And so I knew that I was going to do a blue and white theme. And I think that tomorrow I'm going to spend the morning making all blue and white beads, tons of them. I want to try my hand even at making some round ones, but I am absolutely adoring these flat ones. When you're painting, I don't want you to think of painting as, well, I don't know how to draw and my flowers aren't going to look like this. I want you to look at it instead as little shapes. Instead of looking at it as a flower as a whole, we're just adding 5 little dashes and then with a circle in the middle. That's all this little flower is. And I think when you take away that pressure of it being a exact replica of a flower, I think there is where the joy lies and where the creative freedom starts to begin to take over, and then to just fill you with those creative juices and to get you to want to keep going, creating more things. And I promise you that at the end, you're going to look back and you're going to see no imperfections. You're going to see no lack of drawing ability, but what you are going to see is a beautiful stack of beads that you made and that you are going to be able to love and enjoy. I'm going to add a varnish to the tops of these, and I'm going to start off by using this one that I found at Dollar Tree. We're going to try it out together, and then I'm also going to do the blue ones in the varnish that I did with my last beads, which is the triple thick, I think by Deco Art. And then you can see the difference in them and see which one you like the best. I can tell you right now that the Dollar Tree one was great. It is a little thinner than the other one, but you might enjoy that more. And you could always build up the coverage so you can add 2 and 3 coats to it. What I will tell you is that once you start adding this clear coat on top, a transformation happens right before your very eyes, and you're taking something that was paper, that you added some paint on, that you drew some little squigglies on, and then right when that varnish hits the paper, it turns into a bead. It's magical, it's wonderful, and I highly suggest that you try this out today for yourself. And I also wanted to add a little side note here. If you do make this project and you share it on social media, please tag me. I would love to see your creations. And if it's okay with you, I'll share you in my stories over on Instagram. And of course, this wouldn't be an Ingrid video if I don't have to say that this step in adding the varnish, adding the shine, is a gentle reminder of the finishing touch God adds to our lives, polishing and refining us. Amen. Amen. Wasn't I right? Didn't the shine just transform the paper into beads? They look like they're made out of porcelain or clay, and I absolutely am adoring them. I'm using one of my Dollar Tree shower curtain hooks, and if you did not see my project using these, then I will link that video down below. This is a game changer. And someone in my last comment said it's a giant bulb pin. And yes, I am so here for that comment. I couldn't agree more. And if there's something I love, it's a bulb pin. So I told you guys I would be using these, and I meant it. So today I'm going to layer some of my beads with some ephemera, and I'll let you guys finish watching the process of this video. And I just want to tell you that I'm so grateful that you are here with me today, that you are deciding to spend your day with me. That means the world to me. I want to thank you so much for the love, support, your comments, all of it. It means the world to me. And I do have to say really quick that if there is something in your life that you are needing prayer for, please feel free to leave it in the comments, message me privately on Instagram, and you can just say, if you don't want to say what it is, if it's personal, you can just say it's an open prayer that you need. And I know that I will be praying for you, and I know some other wonderful prayer warriors will be as well. And today I wanted to remind you that you are strong and courageous. You are a child of God. You are wonderfully and fearfully made, and you are loved so very much. A huge thank you, big hug and kiss to my Patreons. And if you haven't joined Patreon, this is a great time to join. There's some new exciting things coming up in October. So I can't wait to let you guys know. And I just want to thank you again for being here. I love you so much. Until next time. Bye. Oh, and don't forget, because I almost did, if you like this video, it just takes you a second to click on the like button, and it allows YouTube to spread this out to other people that might enjoy it as well. And if you're not already following, this is a great time for you to pause the video and do that right now and hit the bell so you get notified every time a new video of mine comes out, like this one. Okay, this time for real. Love you. Bye.